created an energy door that will require a power station to be used, a core to be inserted, which will then allow the door to be walked through. Other than that, it just appears as a sheet of energy in front of the door that you can't walk through, and if you try to walk through it during the map playing of the game, that sound will play. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a door and start building it up for you to see how I've done it. And there might be better ways of doing it, but this is just the way that I happen to come across it. So the first thing is change the options on your door. You need to make it so there's no door there at all. That way players can move through backwards and forwards through this way without a door ever appearing. There's three elements, physical elements to the door. The actual energy itself, the energy shield there, which is made up by a player blocking volume. The trigger to deactivate and activate the door, which is the power station. And I put a boxed trigger in so that when you walk up to the door it plays this sound.
Access denied.
So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place those three elements onto the door over here. You can add them yourself by using add elements, selecting the box trigger. You can place that, go into it, adjust the sizes to suit yourself, how big and small you want it to cover the area in front of the door. Pretty basic stuff that you can do. With the box trigger, it's important to not have it showing on start, so deactivate that. You don't want that visible, and even if it's set to transparent it'll still show up, so you need to set it to not be visible. I'll delete that one because that's not what I'm going to use. I'm going to duplicate things so I don't have to spend the time positioning and that for the purpose of the tutorial. So similar way of placing the blocking player volume, just select it, place it where you want and so forth. Resize it to your heart's content. Right, duplicate the main element and place it in your doorway. So that's now there, and when the players walk up to it they won't be able to pass through it. The settings I've set for that are the size, that's the sizes I've chosen. It's transparent, it blocks players, it blocks shots, and it's perfectly visible on start, so you'll see an energy shield or something that looks like an energy shield in the way of you. The next thing I'll do is I'll duplicate the boxed trigger and we'll place that in front of the doorway somehow or somewhere. Still getting used to these controls. Okay, so there's that. The next thing is I'll duplicate the power core and I'll place that somewhere near the door. Okay, the settings for the box trigger are, remember we said make it false. The sizes are there that I used, you can copy them, and that's about all you need to do with the box trigger. The power station, I want it to start without a core in, I want a core to be inserted, so false. I want it to have to be used by the same colour, so the blue power core has to be placed into the blue power station, and its colour I've made it as blue. So let's just rotate that around a bit. Okay, when the power core is inserted, I want it to play a sound. The sound I've chosen is this. So without annoying you too much, what I'll do is I'll quickly duplicate that and place one over here. and the purpose of the trigger was to activate that sound there.
Access denied. Access
So
denied.
I'll duplicate one of them and place that over there by the trigger.
Access.
Right, we'll set up the trigger first. So when players walk into the trigger box, it will play this sound. And that's pretty straightforward. So what you do is you click on the trigger box. Upon entered, it will play this sound.
Access denied.
The next thing I wanted to mention was that some sounds will play continuously while others will just play the once. Now in the respect of this one, it will play continuously, and we'll have to set options for that to start and stop it. In this instance,
denied.
it only plays once, and so you don't need to do that. So that's set up now, that's finished with. The next part of the building is the power station. So what we'll do is we'll select the power station and tell it upon giving it a power core, it will firstly play that sound. And like I was just mentioning, the sound will play continuously, so I need to add another one that points to that sound that says upon giving it a power core it will stop the sound. Now the thing about that is it will start and stop it immediately, so you have to give it a delay property, and so what we do is we input a delay for it to stop the sound after half a second. So now it'll play that sound for half a second, and let's move that one out of the way a bit. Okay. I also want it, upon giving it a power core, I want it to switch off this trigger so that when players walk across to walk through the doorway, it doesn't play it anymore. So on given, I'm going to disable the trigger volume. And what I've done there is I've disabled it, I've not deleted it, because I want it to work again at some point. So if I deleted it, it would be hard to make it work again. Probably have to place another trigger box. In this instance, I will just disable it. It's not visible on the screen, so it will not affect, I don't need to make it invisible. However, on the player blocking volume, I will need to, when the power core is inserted, I need to make it disappear, so I'll make it invisible, and I'll also disable it. So upon the power core going in, I shall disable the volume. And that should be it for properties relating to the mechanics of the door being deactivated, the sound being played, the trigger being deactivated. Now what I want it to do is I want to be able to insert the core back in and it puts the shield back up. And to do that, I click on here and I put upon taking the power core, I want it to play that sound again. So it will play that sound, and I want it to stop playing that sound, because otherwise it will continue on for a long while. So stop sound. We've already done the delay feature there, so that's all set and raring to go. It will play it for half a second, and this is the good thing about Snapmap. I've been able to connect it to previous settings I've selected and save a lot of time doing it over and over again. Upon taking the core, I want to make the trigger active again, so I'll enable it. Okay, and then on taken I want it to make the player blocking volume firstly enabled, okay, and secondly visible. Otherwise it's just going to be an invisible barrier, so make visible. And I'm hoping that's it. I'll move that over so we can see them a bit more clearly. I'm hoping that's it. I've got a power station set up here that's going to give me a blue power core. Normally it would be somewhere else in the map, but on this instance I'm going to spawn us in this room with a ready-made power core just to check it out, and that's quite a good way of doing room by room, is to check it out and spawn a player in the room rather than having to run the whole map every time. So let's load it in, and I bet you I've forgotten something, but we will see. Oh boy, do I hope I've got it right. It's alright building them bit by bit, and then when you've got a problem it's going back over it and seeing what you've forgotten and what you've not done. So I do try to keep all my tags and things visible. Right, okay, so first of all this is the energy door.
Access denied.
Well, that part works. Can't use the power core station. I'll grab the power core from here. Sorry, that's my phone going off, that is. And then we'll go up to the door.
Access denied.
Enter the... Okay, that's worked. Played the sound, deactivated the trigger and removed the shield. Now let's remove it. And it's back up and running again. Played the sound, the shield's there.
Access denied.
Ah, that's good. You can't walk through it,
denied.
and the trigger's working again.
Access denied.
Okay, and we've got the power core back, so let's put it in again. Third time lucky. There you go.